Okay, we are working on the periodic trends and properties lab. This is your well plate. The columns will go down, and the first one is column 1, and then we go all the way over to column 6. And then the rows go left to right, A, B, C, and D. So for this first station, you're going to fill up your pipette to the black Sharpie line with magnesium chloride and drop it into each one of the A1, B1, and C1 wells. Then you'll replace your pipette into the Erlenmeyer flask and we'll move to the next station. This one we're working with calcium chloride, CaCl2, and you'll do the same thing except for this time we're going to drop them into A2, B2, and C2. So right next to the ones we did just before this. Replace it and we move to the next one. Here we'll be dealing with strontium chloride. And we'll fill to the Sharpie line and we'll put them into A3, B3, and C3. Then we'll move to the next one. Where here we're going to be working with barium chloride. And the same thing, we'll fill to the Sharpie line. This time we'll add them to wells A4, B4, and C4. And so now we should see that we have some liquid in the first 3 in each column, and then through 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, we're going to come over here and we're going to work with sodium carbonate. Okay, and then we're going to fill to the Sharpie line and we're going to add that to A1, A2, A3, and A4. So all across the top. Then we'll move to the next station and we'll be dealing with sodium sulfate, and we'll fill to the Sharpie line and add to each B1, B2, B3, B4, and I forgot to tell you A5 on the last one, so we'll go back and do that. Pulled the sodium carbonate over, adding it to A5, and that is the control. We're going to see how it compares to those. Then we'll move to our last station here, which is potassium iodate, and we're going to do the same thing. Fill to the Sharpie line, fill in cell wells C1, C2, C3, C4, and C5. Then the directions tell us to go back to our lab station and do some observations. So I'm just going to leave this here for you to observe. I'm going to come right on top. You make your observations in the table provided. And you're going to rank it from 0 to 4 on how much solid you might see or might not see in each of the wells. And here's the table where you can rank it and write anything in the proper box as to what will help you to remember what's going on. So what happened was, is Dr. Stating went and dumped it into the box, into the bucket that's in my fume hood, and now he's rinsing it out so that it can dry and won't have any pollutants in it for the next trial. Okay, here we are at part 2 starting. We're going to start off with water. We're going to fill this to the Sharpie line, and we're going to put that into A1, A2, and A3. And this is just water. Nope, you did.
Start over?
Nope. I paused it this time. All right, then we'll move to the sulfur, and we're going to grab a small amount with our scupula, and we're going to add it to A1. Okay. And then we will move to magnesium. We're going to take a small strip, and see them here. All right, so take one with the forceps. You don't want to get the oils on your fingers on it. And you're going to add that to A2. And then we'll move to aluminum. Same thing, we will grab a small piece of aluminum, ball it into a piece of foil, or into a ball, excuse me, add it to A3. Okay, we're seeing any reactions going on, any sign of bubbles or steam or anything like that indicates a reaction. All right, now you should record each one of those observations in your data table 2, which is on page 3, data table 2. All right, now we've come over to hydrochloric acid, HCl. Okay, so we're going to observe, I've lost my place here. Observe each well, record part if no changes. After 2 minutes, measure the temperature of each of the solutions. Where am I at? I'm missing something here.
Do you have a paused